God as an unseen force, a unseen spiritual entity, higher power, one without a face, one without a voice. Well, a voice, because you hear throughout all the Bible they tell you, and they heard the voice of God, right? They heard the voice of God, out of nowhere. It never, but it never comes from vocal cords, right? The voice of God comes from out of nowhere, from no vocal cords, and these prophets hear the voice, right? To paint God as an unseen force, to paint God as an unseen being who just sits in the heavens, sits in the space, or sits in boundless space or in clouds, who controls everything and looks down, means something. It carries a sort of mystery, right? And the reason why the church introduced God this way is to keep people intrigued, right? People love a good mystery. The Bible was written as a mystery book. You understand? Purposely. It's written in Shakespearean. And when they didn't have TV back then, they didn't have entertainment, the Bible really served as entertainment. It was your action, your adventure, and all this. And this unseen God, this God with no face, pulled all the strings and controlled everything on the planet. And we, as black people, accepted this mystery, this con, this foolishness. Yet the people that taught us that speak with a forked tongue, because in 1 minute they're showing you, or they're telling you that God is unseen and nobody knows who God is, but then on the other hand, they're showing you pictures of white Jesus Christ, and they're showing you pictures of God in many depictions as a white man with long hair and a beard, right? So if they're showing you images, 1 minute they say God is unseen, but then they're showing you images. What are they trying to say? Is that causing confusion? Has that caused confusion in the minds of our people to the point so much that we sitting up here partaking in simple-minded beliefs such as Islam, Christianity, or what I refer to as Christian insanity, and Judaism, and we believe in some unseen gods in the heavens or in the skies or above us, and we don't even know what the hell any of that means? We just accepting that? We giving our life to that? We're not going to accept that God is a man who walked the earth, a physical man. You understand? We don't want to accept that. People say they do, and that's real to them, but they truly don't. We're going to get to the bottom of this. We're going to clear up all the mystery. We're going to clear up all of the illusions and the confusion tonight. I am the intellectual Nuben Menkares, and this is State of Mental Radio, and tonight, the real God that walks the planet Earth, the true God. See, because even with all of the talk all of the concepts on God, there's still confusion there. The 5%ers, the Nation of Islam, and they presented this whole thing. Well, the nation presented this whole thing through this man by the name of Fard Muhammad, that God is a man, is a black man, right? They said that God was black, and that the black man is God. And I had someone tell me that was an original thought, that was an original idea, right? That God was a black man and it came through the Nation of Islam, right? And I said, no, it did not. Because you go back in Egypt and you'll see our people praising supreme beings or gods as men and women, advanced beings on walls and statues and things like that. So, though they didn't use the word God, though that is a, it's a German word, you understand? Gut from the word gut or good, you understand? And they also refer to it as an acronym, Gumar, Oz, and Dabar, meaning strength, wisdom, and beauty. So some say. There was always a physical representation of God coming from our people, right? Now, we accept an unseen picture. Yet the same people, like I said, they gave us a physical picture, and then they told us, but don't look at God that way. Don't look at him as a physical man that walked the earth. Yet you turn in your book of Genesis from page 1. They're talking about God walked in the cool of day. He walked and he asked questions of Adam and Eve. He walked with feet. He talked with a voice. He looked at these people, right? And we still got these mystery religions where people are praying to the east, to, I don't know where. Everybody's looking to one direction to pray. Black people are on their knees in churches praying to an unseen force, right? The Israelites, all these people, they're talking about the Lord. They trying to come up with pictures, and they're trying to put a face to God, right? Hell, the white man Ben put a face to God. He put his face to God. But what that actually meant was why he put his face to God, and why he gave you his physical description, his physical face as God, is because what he was saying is that he, as a physical being, is in tune with God. This is what he was saying. That's why he did that. He also took and got the images of white God and white Jesus and all the whole bearded thing of God with a beard and old and white and, muscles and ripped. He got that from the Greek and Roman gods. All those gods and those depictions of gods you see in the Sistine Chapel, the white gods and Jesus, those are all Greco-Roman gods, ancient Greek and Roman gods that they brought into Christianity under the Council of Nicaea in 325 A.D. They brought those images in because what happened is prior to those images coming in, it was known all around the world, God, or the supreme being, the advanced man, and his messengers or his people, his race of gods, walked or were depicted as black men. You can find these black gods in all parts of the world. In China, in the East, in Africa, you have all depictions of black men as gods, black women as gods. Right? But when we got here into Christianity, when we got into Islam, into Judaism, they said that was blasphemy to give God a physical face. Right? They said that was blasphemy. Reason why they did that is because these men who were the patriarchs of these religions, your Muhammad, or really his companions, your Muhammad and these people who were structuring Islam, structuring Judaism, structuring Christianity, they wanted to operate on earth as the representatives of God. They wanted to be the seen power of this new idea of an unseen power. In other words, they wanted you to pray to them as God's representatives. They wanted to be the gods on earth. That's why they had to make God unseen. They had to take away rules, or they shortened the rules, the laws of God. They had to take away the physical image of God, because then if you saw God in a physical image, then you wouldn't look to these people anymore in the church. You wouldn't look to these people in the mosque. You wouldn't look to these people in the temple. They tell you that you can't understand God, or that nobody knows what God is or who God is. They just know God is a force and a spirit and this, that, and the third. So if you don't understand God, then why the hell are you praying to it? If you don't know what you're praying to, if you know it's just a force, right, then what the hell are you praying to? That would be considered a form of idol worship. Idol worship without an image. Right? Same as people going to Mecca and kissing rocks and pushing each other out of the way when they go to Mecca, because these are man-made rituals and customs. These perceptions of a God, an unseen God, was created purposely. But where did that come from? That came from your Masons. That came from your ancient Egyptians who had sacred orders where they kept the name, the true name of God, Amen, secret. They said that the name of God, the name of Amen, means the hidden one, right? The name of Amen means the hidden one. Go look it up. So if Amen was represented as the hidden one, That translator, they took that name of Amen, right, and they took it and they attached it to all their prayers. When you say amen at the end of your prayers, they attached that name of the true and living God, which they didn't tell you that was the true name of God, but it is. They attached that name of God to the end of their prayers to seal off their cantations or their chants. They sealed that name Amen there purposely, which is the ancient Nubian god, Kemetic, whatever you want to refer to it as. That is the God that actually walked the planet Earth. The idea of a man walking the earth as God, as a supreme being, came through us, black people. We were the first ones to put the image of God up. Going back to the Sumerians as Enki. I put in the picture feed a picture of Enki as a black man who was referred to as God. Now, Enki, the word En in the Sumerian means Lord, which is where they get the whole thing of praise the Lord. That word En is the same Enki who is Amen in ancient Nubia. You also see the N there. They just they added the men onto it, which is where you also see in the word men as an M-E-N as in plural, as in a group or a troop. Then it follows out that they tell you that the word God is Gad in Hebrew, which means troop, right? A group of people, right? God walked the earth as a man. He's described through all books as walking and talking. So then how do they get these unseen images, right? Like I said, Amen is hidden. We said that the knowledge of God was hidden from the average man. The priests of Amen in ancient Egypt, they were the only ones, and the pharaohs, they were the only ones who were taught that they had the connection to God. And they passed the laws of God on to the regular people. Right? Same way the church does, which is where they get it from the Catholic Church. They claim that they are in connection with God. You have to go through them to make your connection with God. This is why they got to feed you God as an abstract, invisible being. Right? They can't tell you that God is a man, because then you're going to start asking questions. Well, if God is a man, then how does he look? And if God's a man, then what is why does he look this way? Why does he look this way? Is the people that look like this God, are they God beings? They're going to ask questions. So the white man, in order to solve that problem, he made Jesus Christ, which is a Greek god, a Greco-Roman god from the word Jupiter and Zeus. He made Jesus a white man. He made God a white man. So, that follows out. If you make Jesus a white man and you say he's the son of God, that follows out. Even if you don't present a picture of God, that follows God out as a white man. Right? The ultimate control. These people changed the images when they came into power. Your Greeks and your Romans and your Caucasians, when they came into power, they changed the images of God. Right? They played a trick on you to cause confusion. So they said, well, we can't present an image of God because we're not supposed to know what God looked like, because we have to stay behind the mystery. So if we got to stay behind the mystery, then God has to be a spook. God, we can present his son as God. This is what they do now with Jesus. Jesus is God now. You hear some of the Christian churches say Jesus is God because people are no longer caught up in the mystery of an unseen being. People want a face. They didn't figure that people, after a while, they're not going to sit up and accept just a picture. I mean, just a mystery God. People, after a while, are going to want a face to this God, since he's described in these books as walking and talking. People are going to want a description. So what the church did was they presented Jesus or the prophets or whatever, what have you, as the representatives, and Jesus has the bloodline connection to this God, the Son of God. But these terminologies mean something totally different. They mean something totally different. Amen's name, the name Amen, like I said, when you seal your prayers off, was the name of an ancient Nubian god or Egyptian or whatever. But that name goes back even further. It is the same Enki in the Sumerian, as I said. And they always presented physical attributes of this man as a black man. Right? Fast forward to 2000, 2010, 2011, you starting to see images of God as a black man. I put in the image feed what a white man showed you in his movie Bruce Almighty and Evan Almighty. There's two parts to it, where he presented Morgan Freeman as God, and he put God, Morgan Freeman, in all white. I said that, is he trying to show you something? Is he trying to tell our people something about who God is? Why would he do that? A lot of our people, it goes over their head. I said on Facebook, I said, the beast will lie to you with a straight face, but then will tell you the truth in a joke. These were comedies in which he told you the truth, so you wouldn't take it seriously, but he was actually letting you know who God was. Okay? In the Catholic Church, they got the image of the child, the mother and the child, the Mary and Jesus, or Horus and Isis and Horus, which is where that whole story of Mary and Jesus came from. And the God and his father is God, right? A supreme being, an advanced being, right? That's where the story came from. So all of these stories are interconnecting. All you had was, as the Council of Nicaea and the Catholic Church and Christianity was coming about, they had to take certain things out. They took from the ancient Sumerian books to make the Bible. They took from the Enuma Elish Sumerian book, the Gilgamesh epics, where it talks about the creation and why man was created. And it talks about men and women creating men and women on earth in their image and after their likeness to be slaves and servants. However, they did not in the Bible want to make it so graphic. So what they did was they took the physical image away of God and, they whitened it up. They made it palatable for the people. They made it a mystery. Remember, William Shakespeare, he had a hand in rewriting the King James Bible. He had a hand in it. You understand? It has the King James version of the Bible has that old English Victorian sound to it, because a lot of your stories went through there, and you see that you still see it in the Bible today. The old English in the Bible is still there. The Bible is written like a Harry Potter book, full of mystery, because as I said, they didn't have TV back then. The Bible was really meant to capture the imagination of people, because they knew in order to capture the imagination of people, in order to capture the imagination, they had to, like I said, they had to tell people lies. You understand? You have to keep a mystery. If you tell people God is a man, right, then, like any good mystery, people are going to become bored with it. See, when you introduce God as a spook, a spirit, an unseen force, then what can people do with that? People can create religions. People can create philosophies, right? People can create religions and philosophies. So if they're able to create philosophies and all different types of ideologies, then they can create different sections of religion. This is why you have 77 different sects of Islam. You have about 60 different sects, or 50 to 60 different sects of Christianity. And the Israelite school, they have probably like a couple of, like at least 30, 40 different sects of Judaism. Why? Because men all want to step in and be representatives of God, of this supreme being, of this higher force. So you can't present God as a real man, because a real man is going to give real laws. A real man is going to be concrete. When you present God as a physical man, that means that God is absolute. He's physical. You can touch him. You can look at him. He has a bloodline. He has a genetic. He has a DNA. He speaks. He has a voice. You understand? He's looking at you. How real can you get the net? But see, they don't want to present God as a real man, because, like I said, you can BS everybody. You understand? It's easy to bullshit everybody when you present God as a spook, as a spirit, as an unseen force. See, then you got everybody and their mother can give you their version of what God is. Same way they give you this version of this bullshit about, oh, well, there's your truth and there's my truth. No, there's no your truth and my truth. There's only one truth. Everything else is a lie. There's only one God. There was only one supreme being that walked the earth, and he walked the earth with a race of beings, a race of intelligent beings. God is nothing but a higher, as a man who has higher intelligence, so-called black man, right? So-called black man with higher intelligence, advanced intelligence, more advanced in intelligence than anybody on the planet. When I asked the question, I said, did God walk the earth as a human being? I said, no, he did not. I said, God didn't walk the earth as a human being. Reason why I said God didn't walk the earth as a human being is because God was not created. Human beings are created. God is omnipresent, meaning he is eternal. The difference between God and man is God is natural. He's omnipresent, always potent, always present. Man had a start point, an origin, right? God was another type of species of advanced man, physical but not human. God has descendants on the earth who are also not human, who are also not part of the human creation. Those people are your so-called black race today. You are not part of the human creation, and you are the bloodline descendants of God. You put God's face everywhere, so that means you had to see God. You saw a physical black man who came with higher intelligence, who showed you how to build pyramids, advanced cities, gave you all kinds of equations and things like that when you were the Egyptians, when you were the Nubians, when you were the Sumerians, when you were the Dogons. All of this, for thousands of years, you had God walking amongst you as an intelligent man, as a highly intelligent man, as an advanced thinker. Whether he was referred to as Amen, whether he was referred to as Enki, whether he was referred to as Amma, no matter what he was referred to, it all comes back to a man. And what do you say at the end of your praise? Amen. 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 And Amen begat man, or a man, an omni-man, or an eternal man, because that's what the word Amen is, an eternal or continuous man. One who does not live, one who was not born, and one who does not die. One who has a continuous lifespan, a continuous bloodline. Right? The humans are created people, or created man. You understand? Amen is, or humans are your original man, meaning that they have an origin. So when I told the 5% to stop calling God, the black man, the original man, stop saying the black man is God, because that's an oxymoron. How are you going to say that the black man is God, but then he has an origin? The black man has no origin, nor does the black woman. You were always here. There is no start point for you, because if there's a start point, then that means you're not natural people. That means you're artificial people. That means if someone created you, they had to make you from something else. Creations are creatures, right? Things that are made from other things, things that are thrown together, right? You were not thrown together from anything, nor was God. God is an eternal man. He has no beginning, no ending, same as our people, through our bloodline. God walked the face of the earth and spoke. They said with deep voice, God had a son. Now, they're going to say God, they went on to say the lie in the church that God made Mary, according to this story of Jesus and all this nonsense, that God made Mary pregnant, and he just filled her womb with a child. He didn't have to touch her or anything. Right? So God is asexual. He's not a man. He doesn't have a penis. He doesn't desire women. Right? Because then that means God has lust. He's a man, so he has lust. So he's bound by his lust. I hear that's a big thing with our people also. That you shouldn't have, that God doesn't desire women. God doesn't look at women and desire women. But you do. And if you come from God, if you are out of God, then he has the same things you have. right? He had to walk the earth physically. I said, and this knowledge that we're given, we're only going to give it logically, based in common sense. You're not going to get that in religion. They're going to give you a belief, and in the word belief, you see lie. They're going to lie to you. They want to present this fantasy, this unreal story about a God that doesn't match up with the story of your so-called Bible, where it talks about God walking the earth as a physical man, where it talks about in our books God walking the earth as a physical man. You understand? They want you to rely on them. They want to be representatives of God. That's the problem. That's what they want. They want you to pray to them, because when you in your churches, when you in your mosques, when you in your synagogues, or wherever the hell you at, you praying to them. You understand? You're not praying to any God, because how the hell can you pray to something you don't even know what the hell you praying to? How do you do that? Oh, I know that God is love, and I know that God has my, He loves me, and I know that God is connected with me. You don't know nothing. You don't know a damn thing about God. You know what these people told you in religion. That's all you know. You don't know anything. You understand that? You don't know anything. If they would have got our people to worship dogs, y'all would have been sitting up here praying to dogs and cats, whatever they told you. You know what people told you. You don't know. You believe what people told you. You believe the lies that people told you about God, and it doesn't add up. Because the purpose of telling you lies about God and making God not a physical being that's walking the planet is that you cannot, or you become disconnected from God. If you cannot see God, if you cannot touch God, if you don't have any idea physically of what God is, then how can you be connected to God? By your ideas, by your concepts. You got 1,000 different ideas and concepts. But we was presenting in the State of Mental the real truth about God as a physical man. Now, they say, oh, brother, well, that's not original. No, it's not original. You understand? This is continual. We don't teach original knowledge. We teach continual knowledge. You understand? And in the continual knowledge, we give higher knowledge on what God really is, because you have people that have bits and pieces. We give continual and real knowledge on what God really is. No, God in church, you'll never hear them tell you God had sex. You'll never hear them tell you God got a penis. God is a black man. He got a woolly afro head. He likes women. You'll never hear him tell you that God got wives or children. They won't tell you that God. You understand? They'll give you an asexual God that zaps goddamn babies into women's wombs, right? They'll give you that. But then his angels came down here and got it on with women on earth. Like God missed the goddamn party. What kind of foolishness is this? What kind of madness is this? But it makes our people feel secure that some God is beyond your desires. You understand? It makes you feel good that some God is above your trivial desires, because you might lust after somebody. You want a man, or you want a woman, or whatever the case is, or you want money, whatever the hell you want. You want a God that's above that, but you don't act above that. You don't. You understand that? And your Bible, it teaches God is a jealous man, an angry man, right? A killer, a lover. You understand? An all-powerful, omnipresent person. These are the attributes of a man. So how if everything comes from God, because this is what I got into this with people on Facebook when I put up a picture of a pretty woman who is shaped nice, looking at her behind. Yeah, that's what men do. We look at women's behinds. We look at breasts. We like that. And women look at men's physiques and whatnot. It's natural. And I said, and the woman said, she accused me of lusting after women. And I said, well, then that means God got lust too. God lust after women. He if everything comes from God, then lust comes from God too. Obviously, God got lust. He sleeps with women. But maybe you bought into that white nonsense about that BS about God being asexual and unseen and this, that, and the third. You bought into the lie. You people in Islam and Christianity and Judaism, y'all bought into the lie that God is not real. You understand? But he can have a real son. God is unseen and talking to people. You understand? He's unseen and people hearing his voice, but it's not coming from the vocal cords. Then that means they might as well roll the goddamn book of Genesis up and throw it away. Because all through there, God is doing physical things. Roll up the book of Genesis and throw it the hell away. You understand? God doesn't think, but you sitting on a planet that is based on thought. Everything here is based on a system. How the planet rotates around the sun, the time, the measure, everything is based on a system, on thinking. Somebody had to put that in order. Wherever there's order, there's intelligence. And if there's intelligence there, there's a God, there's a highly intelligent man, there's a person with a brain. You understand that? Your genetic makeup took intelligence to breed and make. Then just like these simple-minded niggas sitting up here talking about, the Big Bang Theory and everything just fell together by nature. See, more abstract bullshit. More abstract, unseen bullshit. That's all the Big Bang Theory is. That's all your religion is abstract, unseen, unreal bullshit. Not real people, real intelligent people creating biospheres and human beings, advanced, intelligent people who we as black people are the descendants of. You understand? Creating life. You understand? But your white man doing it. He's on the God knowledge. He's catching on to the God knowledge. He's creating life in petri dishes. He's trying to be God on earth. You understand? He'll constantly tell you that God is a spook and a mystery, just to disconnect you from that, so that he can sneak around your ass and become God on earth. And he's done it. He snuck around you and became God on earth, to where he controls the order, he controls the law. You understand? He controls the science, right? But and he's doing all this on earth, and y'all still sitting up here believing him about some unseen God. You understand that? But that you disconnected from how these people constantly going to keep feeding you lies in Christianity and Islam and in Judaism about some fake God that you can't see, that further disconnect you and cause confusion. Why? Because these people really want to just start their own churches. They want to be leaders. They want to be the representatives of God. You understand that? They want to be the representatives of God. They want you praying in their church. They want you giving your money to them. You understand? Tell them God wants 10% for the church. God needs money, so I thought you said God wasn't physical. What does God need money for? What does the church need money for? To praise God. Right? That's funny. God needs physical things, yet he's not physical. He needs money. Or do these men need money? Right? Do these men, do they benefit from keeping God hidden? I said the name Amen means the hidden one. Why is God Amen, the omni-man, the omni-force? Because that's what Amen means, the eternal one, the eternal man. Amen is the eternal man, the ongoing, never-ending, continuous man, physical man, black man, actually bright man. I say the black man is not God is because God, Amen, is not in darkness. You understand? You black men are in darkness. You don't know what God is. You understand? You don't know what God is. God is higher intelligence. God is supposed to be you in a state of becoming. God is supposed to be the future you on different states and different dimensions. That's what God is supposed to be. You in higher dimensions, in higher depth. And high depth. The so-called black man in high depth. Becoming the bright man. That's God. Not some goddamn unseen spook riding on a cloud that you niggas fell for that nonsense. Y'all fell for that. God is the future you. Why is God referred to as a unseen being? Because God exists in the future. You understand? What do I mean by that? Because somebody set up here and said, "Oh, well, brother, how you gonna say that's spooky, brother? How you gonna say God exists in the future?" I said, "The future ain't happened yet." I said, "Are you serious?" 5% have said this to me. God, the future don't exist. Where did the prophets come from? If the prophets prophesy about the future, then obviously the future exists. How can you prophesy about something that didn't happen? How can people have premonitions of the future if the future ain't happened already? The future's ahead of you. You understand? But to the people who are not in tune, to the people who are not intelligent, they're not going to get it. They're not going to be able to tune into the future because these people are stuck in the past and they're stuck in the present. So they're not going to be able to tune into the future, which is what the so-called black man and black woman are supposed to be able to do naturally. You're supposed to be able to look into the future. Because when you are able to look into the future, that's an attribute of God. The real God, Amen. The omniforce, the omni-being, the eternal man. Not the human, not the original man. The original man was a created man. That's why I told the 5% of the Nation of Islam, stop calling the black man the original man. The original black man they talking about is the East Indian, the created man. The black man, so-called black, a.k.a. bright man, is the eternal man, the eternal fire, the eternal light. That's who you are, as I refer to you as the bright race. They didn't understand that. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad used to say the black man is the original man, and that nobody, what did he say? He said that nobody, how do he put it? He said that nobody knows the age of the black man. Nobody knows how old a black man is. That was his way of saying that the black man you can't measure the age of the black man. But then people in the nation start trying to interpret it, saying, "Oh, well, he was talking about, of course the black man has a time frame." Well, why hasn't nobody found it? Nobody knows how old our people are because we don't have a time frame. The only people that have a time frame was people who were created on the planet. Your human race, they have a time frame. That's why the white man can trace his origin back to the East Indians, and they trace their origins back to animals, right? Because they do have hair which looks like fur on their head. The hair on their head is not hair, it's fur, and they trace their origin back to animals. Our hair does not look like anybody's on this planet, right? Why? Because we are the gods that were walking the earth amongst men. It was us. The God that was walking the earth amongst men was us. Who were the men that we were walking amongst? The created ones. Your East Indians, your white man who came later, your Asians. We were walking the earth amongst the created man. You had the man, or the Amens, and the humans. So no, God was not a human being. He was an Amen being, meaning an omni being or an eternal man. Not a human, not a created man. Your created man is your East Indian, your white man, and your Chinese man. Your so-called black man, a.k.a. bright man, is an eternal man. Your so-called black woman, a.k.a. bright woman, is an eternal woman. So I said stop referring to our people as original. We don't have a time or a start date. And I challenge anybody to show the origin of the black man. They cannot. They cannot. Your white scientists cannot show you where black people started at. And these simple-minded Negroes, they come up and say things like, "Oh, well, the black man started in Africa." What are you talking about? There was no Africa. The white man, that whole idea of Africa came from the Romans. They the ones that called the continent, or called that place a continent and referred to it as Africa. So how did the black man start there when the earth was all one Pangea? Oh, then you get your Pan-African. Oh, well, it was all Africa. I said that the whole idea and the word Africa and the whole idea of it as a continent came from the white man. So how the hell a black man start there? No life starts on dry land. First of all created life starts in water. That's why they know when the scientists go to planets and they find water, they know life exists on the planet because they know that all life starts in water. How do they clone animals and things like that? They clone cells and whatnot in petri dishes, which needs water. No life starts on dry land. So what are you talking about? We didn't come out of no Africa? There was no Africa till the white man called it some Africa. We didn't acknowledge continents. God walked the earth. Amen walked the earth. Amen. Amen. An eternal being, an omni-being. What do they say about God? He's omnipresent, meaning always present, omnipotent, always powerful. You understand that? Why? Because he comes from fire, from the sun, through the sun. Solar being, always burning the true light. You understand that? The son of the morning star. Now people say Satan, Lucifer, and things like that. These omni beings are light beings. And what is the pure light? Fire, the real light, not the false light that runs by water and electricity here on this planet. That's the lesser light that they talked about. Or your humans that came out of water. No, God, Amen, the true name of God, Amen, was a so-called black man who walked the earth with woolly hair. An advanced, intelligent man. We put him everywhere. Why is it that the so-called black man got a problem with that? Why do you accept the teachings of the white man? Because he'll call our people pagans for us putting the picture of God up as a black man that we've been putting up for thousands and thousands of years, obviously. And if you look at it, God always looks the same. You understand? Pretty much for the most part. You understand? You look at the picture of Amen and you look at the picture of Enki, they pretty much look the same. Same type of crowns almost. You understand? Wide faces. You understand? Round noses. Pretty much the same. So obviously this is a genetic bloodline that's walking the planet of intelligent beings, a race of people. You understand? A race of men and women, supermen and superwomen, advanced people who were on a higher level mentally and physically than what? Your human beings, a.k.a. your East Indians, your white men, and your so-called Asians. Aren't you black people, those descendants of those people today, y'all run faster than any goddamn body on the planet. You jump higher than everybody on the planet. You're more athletic. Your women are built better than any other woman on the planet. You are the goddamn supermen amongst men. You are the gods that were walking amongst men, amongst the created humans or the man of mankind. You are the descendants of God. You are the God race. So God walks as a man. He walked as a man. He talked as a man. Amen. You understand? They know what they're doing when they seal their prayers off in these religions with Amen. That's a code. That's a code to all the religious leaders who God really is. They use it in Freemasonry. I said the divider's rod with the G in it is that divider's rod is shaped like an A, as in Amen, and that G represents God. The omni being, the eternal one, the continuous, one who never dies, and the one who was never born. One who has no mother, no father, one who's continuous. Now, it's talking about a bloodline, a continual bloodline that has no ending. You understand? Now, I know to a lot of people that sounds spooky, but it's really not. You understand? Because that light was always burning. And our people, you understand, are that light. We are those light beings of that bright race. So that light was always on, even in darkness. You understand? We are light beings. Do we not have souls? That soul connects us to the sun in the sky and the sun in the earth. That tri-solar system, or that electricity or electricity, which represents the earth. That electrified solar city, or 3 states of solar power. You understand? Solar intelligence that we talked about. The sun in the earth, the sun in the so-called black man and black woman's chest, the solar plex, and the sun above your head. It's supposed to be passing messages back and forth. That's what it really means when it talks about the messengers between heaven and hell. You understand? That's what it's talking about. That's supposed to be y'all. Y'all supposed to be the messengers between heaven and hell. And what is the word messenger? What is the word angel means messenger. So y'all actually are the angels on earth, the messengers on earth. What are you supposed to be messaging back and forth? Intelligence. Intelligence to steer the planet and to control mankind. That was your purpose here, to control the humans. Your white man, your East Indian, your Arab, these were your purpose for being here. That's why, if you notice, whenever they do something, they look to you first. They follow you first. You understand? They want to be like you. But y'all got it backwards because y'all want to be like them. Now, I know to a lot of people that sounds crazy. It shouldn't, if you pay attention. See, the people that's caught up in religion, they don't understand. They're not going to get that. To the people that's caught up in religion, they looking for a spook. They looking for a spirit. You understand? All of these concepts came from the white man. All of these lies came from the white man, that God isn't a man. But then he turns around and puts a white man in your face and says, this is his son, though. God is not a man, but this is his son right here. Are you serious? And black people just nodded their head and went with it. They just went with it. I said that even the people in the Nation of Islam, they have a problem with accepting the black man as God. They got a problem with that. They would rather put Fard up. You understand? It's the same thing perpetually. I said that Fard was the messenger and Elijah was God. People had a problem with that. Didn't Elijah stay with y'all? Wasn't he omnipresent? Wasn't he omnipotent? Wasn't he a powerful man? So that was God right there. But they missed it. Fard was the messenger. What message he brought? He brought that the black man was God. He told Elijah and he left. That was it. God is the only one who can hold the crown. God is the only one who can hold the serpent crown. You understand? Meaning your so-called black man. The planet has been off naturally because the natural-born rulers are not in charge. You almond beings, you omni beings, you of the bright race, y'all not in charge of the planet. That's why the planet is off. So what did the white man do in the year 2008 to help kind of restore order somewhat? He put a black man as president. Yet he pulled the strings from behind the seat. He let Kofi Annan be the head of the UN. These people now trying to mix their seed, and if you notice, they pushing the white woman with the black man, or especially the black woman with the white man. Why? Why all of a sudden they're accepting you in their churches, in the Mormon church and things like this? You got black people doing drops and commercials for the Mormon church. I'm a Mormon, but the Mormons taught that black people was cursed before. Why now are they accepting you all of a sudden in the new millennium? Something's happening here? Is something going on? Everything happens for a reason. Why is Sarah Silverman, this Jewish white woman, why is she talking about she want to sleep with God, and then she puts this image up of the black man? And on the news feed I put in there, it says she wants to sleep with God. She has a black man there, and she has Amen. She said Amen. AHMEN. AHMEN. Amen. Why did she do that? Did I not say that the beast tells you the truth in jokes and lies to you with a straight face? And that's what he did in religion. He lied to you with a straight face. He had that stern, straight face, and he told you that Jesus was a goddamn spook, and that somebody named Jesus existed, and that there was a spook, and that God was unseen, and y'all went for that. Right? But then he's putting the black man there as Morgan Freeman as God. That's him mocking you and making fun of you. That's him telling you this is really who God is. And he just flew it over y'all head. But y'all say simple stuff like, oh, that's not real, it's just a movie. Let me tell you something. You got something called imagination, right, in order to write these stories. So in order to write these stories and have imagination, that means you have to have an image of something, meaning that you have to see something in order to imagine it. In some way, shape, or form. You can dice it up and put it different ways, but you had to actually be thinking about this to write this out. You had to have an image of it in your mind. Somebody put that in your mind to write. Where did these ideas come from to push the black man as God? You understand? In this media. They could have put a white man as God like they've been doing. Why didn't they just do that? Why are they putting the black man as God now? Are people trying to confess now because something is about to happen? Are we in the time of the elect? And being that we are in the time of the elect, the truth is coming out on who God really is, that his true name is Amen, that he did walk the earth fit in physical form as a black man, You understand? I told the people in the Nation of Islam, I said, no, God's name is not Allah. It's not, in the Hebrews, it's not Yahweh Shah, and it's not, you people, they don't even have a name for God and Christianity. They just go God. You understand? Now they're trying to make Jesus God. They're scrambling now for names, but they don't really. How you know those names are not real for God is because they would never present the real name of God. They would always hide it from you. They would conceal the real name of God. God would never have. They would never present you the name of God. The people that control religion. You understand? They would always conceal the name of God. And in this new millennium, the true name of God would be revealed. Because in the name of God, it tells you who God really is, what he is in relation to man, that he is an omni-man, that he is an eternal man, not a man with a timeline or a time frame, and that his descendants come from him. We are the descendants of God because where are we at? We're on earth. Descend means to come down. Ascend means to go up. Now, when I say up, I'm not talking about some heaven on a goddamn cloud somewhere. I'm talking about a whole different world, another planet. You understand? On which God moves, that has no boundaries, that has no solar system. Like I talked about in the book of Revelation, that God moves with a God race in another planet, in another world, that is beyond this one, that is more advanced than this world. We talked about that when they talked about in ancient, in the Sumerian, they talked about Nibiru. Right? Why did this old white man, Zechariah Stitches, start translating from the Sumerian, this ancient culture and whatnot, when they say this were the first people to talk about God? What made him do that? What put the thought in his head to start translating these Sumerian tablets and these stories about these black gods? Because I'm gonna tell you, the Sumerians were a race of black people. And a lot of those images you see, a lot of that stuff was manufactured images because they found the real images of the Sumerian god Enki and Anu and all of them, and they showed them with big noses and broad noses and that they was walking like black men. They was sitting on thrones. So then they started manufacturing tablets where the gods started looking like white men, and they started looking like they was Asian mixed and all this madness to cause more confusion. All that was done purposely. But prior to that time, the Sumerians talked about the world in which God traveled on his own planet that was more advanced than Earth. And that would make sense because you go right into the book of Revelation, you go right in and they tell you God, heaven is coming down on earth, the world of God, or this God's kingdom is coming on earth. So what is God's kingdom? It's not a world. It's not a planet. That's what it's talking about when it's talking about God's kingdom coming on earth. That's talking about another goddamn planet. That's talking about another order, another structure, a new world. So obviously, God lives in a more advanced world than this, as a man, with an advanced race of people. That don't make sense to you? Or y'all still want the goddamn spook and this clouds that's hiding somewhere, and nobody know who he is, but we gonna pray to it anyway? Y'all still want that bullshit? You understand? You still want to be confused? You niggas that still promoting that confusion in Christianity and Islam and Judaism, y'all still want to push that in this day and time? When we in the time of the elect and all the truth is coming out? You still want to push holy rolling and fall on the goddamn floor and trying to get money out these people? Telling lies? When the truth about the true and living God, Amen, is coming up, and the elect will have his name sealed in their forehead. Meaning in their mind, in their third eye. That's real. They're going to throw out the name Jesus because that's a false name. They're going to throw out the name Allah. They're going to throw out the name Yahweh Shah because all those names are being on the tongues of man and they being presented as God's name. They say that God's true name is hidden. And that goes back, like I said, to ancient Egypt and Nubia where they said the name Amen means the hidden one. Because God was hidden because he was constantly in a state of movement, in a state of evolution, moving into the future. And he kept connection with these men who were his bloodline descendants on earth, and he sent telepathically thoughts to these people, which generated his images, which is how they were able to prophesy. Because they were prophesying and talking about things that were going to take place in the future. This is real. This is not no fairy tale and me putting stuff together. The people who are in tune with God are people who are thinking into the future. That was supposed to be our people. We didn't think past tense or present tense. We thought future tense, which is why we were able to come into the past and into the present. You understand? And come in as advanced people. Because if you're ahead of everybody and you come back in time, and you're going to be more advanced than everybody because you're coming with future knowledge. That's the difference between God and man. God is advanced mentally. He is based in higher intelligence, not some beliefs, not some spook, not some laws, not some praying, rocking back and forth. That's some stupidity of man. That's the limited perception of man. God walked the earth as a man, had sex with women. You understand that? Desired women. You understand? What you women in the church call lust. What the hell are you talking about lust? Men have testosterone, which gives them a natural desire for women. What the hell are you talking about lust? Women have estrogen in their body, which gives them a natural desire for men. Why are you trying to make something natural negative? You're supposed to desire each other. Y'all not having sex because, you like how his brain is, or you like how, yeah, you might like the person's intelligence, but ultimately you get turned on by somebody. You want, like I said, our sister comes up here and tells me, when I talked about that part in the Bible where it talked about the sons of God came down and took all the daughters of men that they found to be fair, and they took them and they went in unto them and had sex with them and had children with them. She said, that means they raped them. Where you get that from? If I take you as that my wife, does that mean I take you forcibly? No. But like I said, that's what happens when you get into this sanctified holy roller BS from the white man that he gave you, this Christianity, this Islam, and this Judaism of all this spookism and this lust and all this other. And the people that preach that bullshit, these are the same people that are doing exactly what they say they against. These are the same people, the same hypocrites. You understand that? They don't want to accept God as a man. They don't want to accept God having a woman or his woman being a goddess. They don't want to accept that. They don't want to make the woman God. They want to believe that some guy named Adam, you understand? And even that story of Adam and Eve, they don't even understand what that means. I'm going to break it down to you tonight. I'm going to break it down to you, the story of Adam and Eve, and what it really meant when it said the serpent cajoled Eve and it whispered in Eve's ear. What that really means. I'm going to break it down. When we come back, I want to play something because I need to take me a little break. Let me see what I want to play. So I get kind of hype here. I don't like lies. What do I want to play? Okay, I'll play this. We'll be right back. When they're talking about the Adam and Eve story and they talk about the serpent beguiling Eve, what does the serpent represent? I spoke about the serpent being used on the crowns of the Egyptian pharaohs, right? Now, the one who wore the serpent on his crown would be considered the ruler, the serpent holder. When they talk about a serpent beguiling a woman, that talks about men in power, a people in power, cajoling a woman. Because how to go against her man, or you turning a society or what they considered paradise upside down by going to the woman, society and woman. How is the black family destroyed? How does the beast reach out to destroy our families? Through the woman, right? The serpent is talking about those who are in power, the rulers, because I told you the one who wore the serpent on his crown was the ruler. Just as in the Superman story, when Superman wears that S on his chest, that represents a serpent on his chest. That's what made him a god amongst men. He was the serpent holder or the ruler, which represented the real Son of Man on earth. All right? That's why the pharaohs wore serpents on their crowns. Right? Beguiling a woman, changing her ideas and her thoughts, making her wise, bringing her out of a state of darkness, right? Making her wiser. To some people, that story might be considered negative because the woman was given intelligence about certain things. she received intelligence in the garden or in the so-called paradise of man. That was man's paradise. You understand? As long as the woman was ignorant. Yeah. Who wrote these stories? The beast. You understand? The same people who wanted to take the woman out from God's life, who wanted to take the goddess away from God. You understand? They wanted to make the woman ignorant, to blame the woman. Men who didn't like women, men who didn't want God to have a woman, men who didn't want God to have desires, men who didn't want God to be a sexual being. They wanted him to be asexual. You understand? That's why another reason why God couldn't be a man, because then you start to think, well, if God's a man, does God have physical parts? Does God get a hard on? Does he like women? Does God have sex with women? Does God have a woman? Well, the best way we can do this is just by saying that God is unseen. The best way we can do away with this is by making God unseen. But then you paint in your pictures, you depict God as a man with a bunch of angels, male angels around him, no women. What are you trying to depict with that story? Where there's no women around God, just male angels. What are you trying to depict with that? What are you trying to really say with that? Sounds like homosexuality to me. You understand? But then at the same time, God don't think that way. God is beyond us. He's beyond thinking about sex and women and, brother, you thinking about God on, they'll say something stupid like, brother, you thinking about God in a carnal way. Right? You're not supposed to think about God. Well, wait a minute. Let me ask you something. You people who talk about, you're not supposed to see God in a physical form, then why are you talking about God walking on the earth in physical form? Why did God create a physical form? If we're not supposed to think, why do we have brains to think in physical thoughts? You telling me thinking about God or thinking about God as a spirit, you can't even tell me what spirit is. You can't tell me anything because as soon as you start describing something spiritual, you're going to start using physical terminology. So you don't even know what the hell you're talking about. So for all you spiritual people who talk this BS about, God is a spirit, come on with the abstract BS. God is love, and we hear all kind of abstract BS. God is love, God is a spirit, God is unseen, he's the power, he's the glory. Bullshit. Y'all just say that because you really don't know. You just want to sound heavy and deep. You want to sound like you above and beyond everybody else, but you still doing physical things. You understand? You know how you really connect with God? How you really connect with God in yourself and beyond yourself is through intelligence, through future thought. That's how you really connect with God, not by giving some abstract answers because you're trying to sound deep and heavy that you got from the white man, this whole philosophical nonsense, because who were your first philosophers? Who was the first ones to start giving this philosophical BS about God? Your Greeks. Your Greeks. Weren't your Greeks, they stayed steady talking about philosophy. You understand? These were the first people that came with this philosophical bullshit about God, this unseen being bull crap. You understand? He's physical, but he's not physical. He's unseen. He's in the sky moving on clouds. He got a chariot and all this bullshit. Y'all fell for that. Or God don't talk this way. God don't talk that way. God don't act this way. God don't act this way. How you know how God acts? God don't curse and he don't want women and he don't say things that men would say. What are you talking about? All your language comes from God. What the hell are you talking about? Where the hell else your language come from? You understand? Man don't make up nothing. So if I say shit, it comes from God. I say, God damn, that come from God. You niggas in the church, I can't believe he said that. It came from God. Where else did it come from? If you know of any other place, then that means it's something beyond God. Oh, well, that came from the beast and the devil. Ain't he from God too? Huh? Obviously, God used the devil or used the white man or used the mankind for something. He used him for something. That's why he was created. Right? That's why he created the humans for something. You understand? Everything has a purpose. Just the problem is people don't know what their purpose is. That's the problem. You know? What are you talking about? It's only when you start doing unnatural things. The same people that tell you, "Oh, God is not this, God is not that." These are the same people. "Oh, God don't have sex. He don't desire women." These are the same people that molesting kids. These are the same people that's in having sex with little boys and little girls and animals and all this other nonsense. Or you see pedophilia, bestiality, all this homosexuality, lesbianism, all here. But these are the people that are defining God for you. And y'all sitting up here listening to this. You sitting up here listening to this. You sitting up here listening to that abstract philosophical BS. Like I said, because all that really is, when you start talking about the Big Bang Theory and metaphysics, because that's all metaphysics is more Big Bang abstract bullshit. That you niggas, y'all sit up here and become parrots for the white man, and y'all sit up here, because that's nothing but an extension of the philosophy about God. That's nothing but an extension of Greek philosophy about God. He's unseen. Things is just happening. Mother Nature and nature is trying to explain nature as some and when nature is nothing but a system that was created by advanced men, by God man, by Amen man or Amen being. It's a system. That's it. A system that works on mathematics. That's it. Seasons going in, seasons going out, plants and crops and trees growing on a time frame. That's it. There's nothing deep about this. But to the people who are not in tune, to the people who are not of the elect, this, like I said, to the majority of our people, like I said, who want to stay, like I said, the ones of our people who want to stay in religion, who want to still sit up here and be with the mystery and the spook and, oh, well, brother, I don't know, because that's so ingrained in your head. Because it's so ingrained in your head that you can't see God as a physical man. You can't see anyone coming from God, because when you say the Son of Man, you're talking about a man who has the intelligence of God, who is receiving the intelligence of God on earth, one who is in the image of God, a bright man. That is your Son of Man, S-U-N, not S-O-N. That's what that's talking about. One who is receiving future intelligence on earth from God. Amen. The true and living God. You understand that? That's what that means. They depicted it in your Superman movie when they showed you Superman talking to his father through the crystals. I said that whole Superman story, even the S symbol and the five-pointed shield, is dealing with is connected to the elect, the 144,000. Why? Because all of that, everything in the Superman story is dealing with solar intelligence. His symbol, the colors, is all dealing with a tri-solar system or an electri-city, an electrified city, meaning a city or different states of power in which communication is flowing through and being received as intelligence. This is how God communicates with man. And when you women get your head out of the ass of society, you too. You too. Because y'all supposed to be receiving as well. You women are supposed to be receiving intelligence from God. And some of y'all are starting to get it now in this day and time. But see, you had people telling you that y'all ain't God. You black women are not God. You had your black men telling you that you not God neither. When you black women are God too. Y'all God just like we God. They had in the ancient time they had God and God is sitting side by side. Amen and Amenet. He had a female counterpart. His woman, aka his woman. But in religion, no, God can't be a man. He can't walk the earth. He can't talk to people. He's talking about his voice is like many waters and things like that. And no, God can't be a man. Because if you make God a man, then that's blasphemy, brother. You brought God down to your level. But what are you talking about? All levels are of God. What the hell are you talking about? The physical realm is of God. You understand? The mental realm is of God. All these are stages of mental realms. Advanced to lower state. All of these are states of mental realm. It's just the beast is over the submental realm right now. You understand? And we're supposed to be receiving intelligence from on high, meaning from the future state. You understand? But like I said, to a lot of our people, they don't want to accept God as a man. They don't want to accept him as a physical man walking the earth. But the beast, obviously, he does. Morgan Freeman, Sarah Silverman, she put that man up there. Like I said, they giving you all these physical depictions, and they showing you, and even the beast will tell you that the black man is God, the so-called black man, a.k.a. bright man, is God. But y'all don't want to accept that. You understand? You'll accept the white man as God first because that's what has been ingrained in your mind. You'll still accept Jesus Christ or Fard Muhammad. You understand? Somebody that don't look like you. And I'm sorry, no offense to the Nation of Islam, but hey, man, how you going to sit up here and teach the black man's God and you putting that image up? You understand? You was better off teaching, like I said, that Elijah was God because he stayed with y'all. God is a bloodline thing. It's a descendancy and an ascendancy thing. If Fard came and told you the black man is God, then why are you putting him up as God? He told you who God was. You understand? You had God with you for 40 years. It's a bloodline thing. He was not of the bloodline. No matter how much y'all tell that story that he was, you can look and see he's not of the bloodline. God is a bloodline ascendancy. You understand? Just like royalty is a bloodline ascendancy, Godship or the God race works by blood. You understand that? That's why the elect are chosen, because they are bloodline descendants of God, of Amen. They are the Omni beings, the Amen race. This is simple. If we take our heads out of the ass of religion and the beliefs of the beast. I'm going to take a call, 219. 219, you're on the air. 219, you're on the air. Hello? 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 219, you're on the air. Okay. Well, I'm going to hang up on you, 219, because you're not talking. I hear background talk. All right, I'm going to take another call. 347, we taking 347. 347, you're on the air.
Hey, what's going on, fam?
What's going on, brother?
Yeah, I just wanted to make a quick comment when you was talking about the Superman with his S on his chest. He also had, like, the way how they designed his hair, it resembled a serpent. He had, like, the little swirl on his head, and it dropped, like, right in front of his forehead. So that was, like, a little representation of how the pharaohs used to wear the crowns, and they had the little serpent up on their joint. So, you know what I'm saying? You're on point. They always show it to us in these movies or these cartoons, commercials, billboards, whatever have you. They always show it to you, but it's like how they raise certain people, man. It's like they got under this umbrella of that type of shit is evil or it doesn't really exist until we say it exists.
It also, and good point on that, brother, because it also represents the curl in our hair. You understand? The coils in our hair, because our hair is curly. It goes into that as well. So, yeah, and it goes into the whole Jewish thing where they got from the Egyptians is a lock. You understand?
Exactly. Yeah.
So all that plays a part in that. That's all like I said, when I put the S up there, which is really the serpent, and the 5 point of the fifth dimensional points of governing, same principle how they govern here in this society with the 5 P's, that comes from us. When I talked about the red, the blue, and the yellow, those are our colors, not red, black, and green. That's some farce that they made up to trap us off into that whole Africa nonsense, man.
Exactly.
You know, this is the colors of the God race. I said that whole Superman's whole get up, his color, his symbol is dealing with solar intelligence, because he tells you that they show you the blue sun, the red sun, and the yellow sun. So that's all solar intelligence. The white man don't even deal with the sun. He's not even of the sun. So how is he gonna put that symbol on his chest?
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like they definitely using that the hidden sorcery on us. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Like when he fly way up north and he go to his little crystalline computer, you know what I'm saying? It's like they telling you these things, but it's like they don't really. It's like the way how they got the whole school system and like you know what I'm saying. Like when you go through the kindergarten and it's like left brain thinking. It's like they train you on that left brain perception. So it's like when you start talking about these other things, it don't really concur with people doctrine because they wasn't really raised on that level. You know what I'm saying? Because they still got that linear perception. You know what I'm saying? That old left brain shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like they diffuse the ability to people to use their imagination. They got them inside that box, the cube. That cube shit is a powerful spell that they're using on niggas right now.
Well, no, they actually let me stop you for a second. They actually got us in a circular way of thinking, not a linear state. Because if we was in a linear state, well, we giving them the knowledge of mental. Like this is the linear thought. This is where we supposed to be going. Not everything else is based in a circle. That's why everything goes in a rotation, and you keep repeating certain things. Same thing with religion. Everything moves in a ritual.
Exactly. Yeah. I feel you on that. It's like a cycle, a continuum.
Yeah, it's a cycle of continuum. That's like I said. The 5%, they caught up into they go 360 degrees, and they circle, and they symbol for degree is a circle.
Yeah,
they caught up in it too. That's why they keep saying the same thing in rotation and whatnot. When the true God is supposed to present future knowledge that is moving in a straight line, that has no point of return.
Yeah, like meandering. Just keep going.
But that's what's happening when you're in a state of confusion. That's what happens.
Yeah.
That's what happens. Our people are in a state of confusion right now, and they, like you said, they dizzy right now because they've been spent in circle. And like I said, my favorite thing I say in the class when we're doing the Supermen, Superwomen project is when the beast he shows you, he shows you the sign of somebody who's crazy. What does he do? He twirls his hand in a circle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does that for a reason. He's showing you that he's driving you insane and crazy in circular state, in a circular mindset. He's driving you crazy purposely. He's doing everything to confuse you. Like I said, he'll put an image of a God as a man, then he'll tell you that God is unseen. But then he'll put up an image of his so-called son who is a white man. You understand?
Yeah.
Everything's done, like I said, cause confusion.
Like that whole Peter Parker shit, Spider-Man.
No.
Ain't nothing about us they talking about, man. A lot of these, like the X-Men, for instance, like how all these individual mutants got all these individual powers. It's like he's basically describing all of our abilities. Like all those individual, it's like they personify individual aspects of us. You know what I'm saying? They gave it an identity, a character, a name, and a role to play. But those are all different aspects that we have in our entire, like how we use the cell phones right now. That's like a form of like telepathic communication. Like when you watch TV and you use the remote control to change the channel, we could do that shit, remote viewing. You know what I'm saying? Everything that exists outside of us, they got that shit from us. You know what I'm saying? They know what's down to it. It's a damn shame that we don't really know ourselves, but these Caucasians, they study us to the T. They know how the blood circulate, the type of frequency your heart beats on, how much, fluids is transporting through your veins. You know what I'm saying? They know how all organs work. All of these organs is like a representation of certain industrial complexes that they have set up here, like nuclear power plants, and you have the little the power stations and all that. Those are all like correspondence of that exist inside the human body, man. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely doing his thing, and he's doing a good job. I ain't gonna front. You know what I'm saying? The nigga's really doing his thing. He really got niggas today. For real.
Well, all that's the black man's fault, because right now, and the so-called black woman, because we in darkness right now, we want to stay in darkness because we don't want to be responsible. Right now, when the white man is showing the so-called Kryptonians and the Superman thing, that's actually supposed to be the 144,000. They got that image from somewhere, and that's supposed to be our people in this day and time. We supposed to be those advanced people, and we supposed to be leading the world. But the black man, what do you want to do? The beast gave you something that keeps you vibrating on that submental state, whether it's weed, whether it's hip-hop, whether it's the stupidity, whether it's the NBA playoffs, whatever the black man, whatever stupidity the black man got, spinning rims, whatever stupidity, the black man don't want to come up out of that.
Yeah.
The black man don't want to come up out of that. Chasing ass, all this is the black man's fault. Because, like I said, the beast could give you the drugs, but it's up to you to use it. Our people want to stay in the submental state. We don't want to move beyond where we at. That's why a lot of our people are going to be destroyed.
Exactly. We can't really blame nobody but ourselves, man. Because even if somebody put a gun to your head and tell you to do something, you still making that decision to do something.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? For real.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So we got to start assuming responsibility and start blaming ourselves. We can't really blame the white man because that's basically saying that we inferior and he's superior. You know, like you have to accept responsibility for your actions. You know
Well, that's what we promote. That's what we promoting in the state of Mentel, and we're not waiting for the black race to do that. The black race is not going to do that. So you know what? We said forget the black race. We talking about the bright race. We done moved on. The intelligent ones of our people done moved on from the black race. The black race right now is no different than the white race. Forget the damn black race. Forget the black race as a whole. The intelligent ones, the elect. We in the time of the elect. Straight up, the real God race is coming back on earth. We in that time of the elect. All from the black man who want to sit up here and keep blaming the white man, still want to ask for reparations, want to ask for treaties, want to sit up here and talk about racism, want to share the same God with these people. We ain't dealing with you. Y'all with the beast, man. Not saying you, but I'm saying they with the beast, man.
That shit is a broken record, man. It's time for
exactly. But that's the mentality of the black man. Like I said, we ain't black men up here, and we ain't black women up here no more. We bright men and bright women officially. All right.
Yeah, I'm running with it, man.
All right.
All right,
brother.
Thanks for taking my call.
No problem. All right. Peace. I'm gonna try you one more time. 219. 219. 219. All right. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go through this real quick. Who is the real God that walks the earth as a man? The real God that walks the earth as a man is a bright man, so-called black man, but which is really a bright man, a solar intelligent being, which is why we refer to him as the bright man, because he's a solar intelligent being. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about light-skinned, dark-skinned. The solar intelligent being is the so-called Negro or black man. The black man is one who is in darkness right now. The bright man is who we are as solar intelligent beings. And that solar intelligent being, the real God that walks the earth, is Amen. Enki, or the Lord, the true Lord of the earth. You understand? Amen. The eternal or the omniforce or the omni-man. Not the original man, but the omni-man. Is he human? No, he is not. He is Amen. It is a different species because the so-called bright race or the black race is not of the human race. We are a totally different species. We are the Amen race. We are the Amen beings, not the human being, the Omni beings, or the Amen race. Where is this God today, and where did he come from? This God today walks the earth in the Son of Man, sending intelligence to the Son of Man through the Son of Man, you understand? Who operates as God's true representative on earth. That is who the Son of Man is. That's where they get that whole thing of you can't speak to Jesus, you have to speak to Jesus to get to the Father, meaning the future. The Son of Man, you speak to the Son of Man to get future thought or future intelligence. It's not talking about a father, it's talking about a future being. Father and future is the same thing, meaning the farther you go, the future is ahead. All right? Is he human? No, I said he is an Amen, of the Amen species, not the human, not of the created man. Where is he today? He is vibrating into the future state constantly, in a state of moving, and a state of in a boundless universe, moving in a world or on a planet, you understand? Which they refer to as Nibiru in the past, which is a constant moving world that has no solar system, that is not bound by moons and suns, which they talked about in the book of Revelation. That's real, and that's coming here. You understand? Everything was in the book of Revelation when I broke it down. These are men who have no limitations, women who have no limitations, supermen and superwomen that are coming here. This is your God race. Men and women we are their descendants, meaning those who are here who have descended on the earth. You understand? And they are the ascension, meaning those who have made it beyond the earth and has moved into a future world. It's not no spooky thing. Only to a person who is addle-brained and going in circles and rotation, who is caught up in this circular mindset of the beast, this sounds crazy. But like I said, that's like going back in time and explaining the television set to somebody who never saw TV. They'll say, you crazy. They'll say, have you certified? But now we're watching TV. Or trying to explain a car or explain a ship to them, or a spaceship or a rocket ship, they'll go, oh, you crazy. That's the mentality of you people in religion. Y'all caught in a time warp in the past and the present, so you can't see the future. So this knowledge that we putting down, this true God knowledge, this Amen knowledge, y'all not going to get it because y'all brains are stuck in the past. You niggas still walking around talking about riding horses and smiting people and using all kinds of English language like you Israelites. Y'all still talking about putting people in cotton fields and making slaves out of people. Niggas, are you serious? Are you serious? That's people that are caught in the time warp. People who are caught in the past and in the present. God moves in the future. You understand? That's how he stays ahead of everybody. God moves in the future, and the true elect will move into the future with God. All right? Where did God come from? God was always here. He came from nowhere. He was always here. He didn't come from no Africa. It's not that black man bullshit. He didn't come from no continent. God was always in existence, beyond time. There's no time frame for God. Time frames only exist on planets that are bound by solar systems. You understand? There is no time frame beyond the sun. So this knowledge of mental life that I'm giving to you, that I'm sharing with you, that's coming through me from the true and living God, Amen, is not based in time, nor is it bound by solar systems and time frames. This is future intelligence that's coming in. It resonates as future intelligence because it comes from beyond the sun. You understand that? Future time is laid out when it comes from beyond the sun, and new knowledge comes in and expands the time frame on this planet, and it resonates as future thought. Does God have others that walk with him? Let me, because I'm answering all these questions in the feed. Is the image of God in religion real, and is it based on ignorant, or is it based on ignorant belief? Yeah, the image of God, religion, the image of God in religion, God has no real image in religion. Because in order to have an image in religion, you have to have a physical form. So no, God doesn't have an image. God has no real physical attributes. So no, there's no image of God. There's a fantasy of God that they promote in religion, some unseen force that got a voice that talk to people, but it ain't attached to a voice box and ain't attached to a physical man. That's a bunch of fantasy nonsense. You understand? That's a bunch of people that mindset really came from the beast, because he never really saw God. That's why he came. He know that a power exists, but because he never saw it, so now he tells you that God is unseen because he never saw God. Our people saw God and God walked with our people, but he never saw God. What all God did for the beast was send messages telepathically to him to do what he's doing today, so he can be in charge of the planet today. He just dictated messages to him telepathically. In other words, he generated images in the minds of mankind, in the minds of humans, which is one of the powers of God, or one of the mental capabilities of God, to generate images in the minds of men. This is where your inspiration comes from. You understand? But to the people who don't get these images, the people who don't get this message generated in his head, it sounds crazy to them, because, like I said, the majority of our people, like I said, they just go off on some, nonsense. They going off on some nonsense, So it's basically, they're not going to get it. Okay? What other question I want to answer? I'm trying to answer all these questions. Does he have others that walk on earth with him? Of course. You understand? Just as is a race, just as you have a human race, you understand? You have a God race, an Amen race. There are women and men who walk with Amen. They are a race of beings, an Amen race, or an Omni being, a race of beings, an eternal race of beings. They are women and they are men, and you black men and black women, so-called black men and black women, are their descendants. You are the fallen angels or the fallen messengers, descendants of the fallen messengers who fell into the earth, who fell down mentally and fell into this circle or this submental state with the beast of mankind. And y'all dwell in this mindset continuously right now. That's why y'all going through the things y'all going through, because some of y'all supposed to be trying to get out of this circle of this submental state of thinking that the beast controls. Y'all supposed to be trying to move out of this. Y'all fell into it because y'all were attracted to that repetition and that circular submental mindset that he controls down here on this planet, that he's put over, or what they refer to as hell. Because it's hell to constantly be moving in rotation with your thoughts when there's no forward motion to your thoughts. That's hell. That's really hell. You understand? I'm going to break it down to you. I'm going to show you how the beast was trying to show you that. Remember, there was an old Twilight Zone. I just used television things as, to show you what I mean by this. The white man did something deep in the old Twilight Zone. This white guy went, he died, right, and he woke up and what he thought was heaven, right? He was to be a gangster, right, and he was a gambler and all this other stuff, right? So this man who he thought was God or an angel was talking to him and telling him, because he had all the women he wanted. He was going to a casino every night, gambling, winning money, and all this. He did all this. He had a nice apartment, he had a nice car, all the things he wanted, and he wanted, which he thought was heaven, right? And he had the women. He had as much as anything, all this stuff he wanted in that he chased after in his physical life. Then he started going crazy because he kept seeing that everything was going in a rotation. The women, the money, the cars, all this stuff was going in a rotation, and he got sick of it. He said, I don't want to be here no more. He said, I don't belong here. He said, I can't take this no more. He said, I win everything. I got these women. Everything is going in a circle. Everything, his life moving in a circle. So he said, he talked to the guy who he thought was an angel. He said, I don't belong here in heaven. He said, maybe I belong in the other place. He said, what makes you think this is heaven? He said, this is the other place. A lot of our people that went over their head. I think those of you who might have saw that episode know what that meant was that being in this rotation, being in this constant Latin monotony of nonsense, constantly going in circles, that is the hell. That's what that meant. You understand? Where there is no future thought, where there is no advanced thinking, where there is nothing beyond the circle. That's hell. And we are trying to escape hell as the elect. We're trying to escape the jobs, the 401k, the bitches and hoes and niggers and all this nigger nonsense and the stupidity of the black race. This is hell for the elect. This is hell for the bright race. This is hell for us. The religion. We're trying to escape the religion. We're trying to escape the self-righteous people and all the BS. This is hell. You understand? To the intelligent man here, to the real intelligent man and intelligent woman who are in tune with the true and living God, amen, this is hell. Because you got to be around the same stupid-ass people. You got to be around the same sub-mental way of thinking. This is hell. You should want to move beyond this if you are truly of the elect. If you are truly of the chosen, you should desire to come amongst your intellectual brothers and sisters and move beyond this, because you are the true people that are in tune with the true and living God, amen. Not those people in religion. That's some fake God that they made up, some fantasy God that they got from the white man, some unseen force, some God that's sitting in heaven with a damn white robe and with an ass on a chair and a throne somewhere. That's a bunch of abstract Greek philosophical BS. You understand? That's where that comes from. You understand? All I know is God is good and God loves me and God is good. Yeah, okay, well, whatever. God is a man. God comes to you as a man. The man that saves your life, woman, who changes your life, who brings your life to the betterment, that's God that came in the person of that man. That meaning that higher intelligence, that higher self came in the person of that man to raise the higher self in you. That's God. He raised the God in you. And y'all supposed to raise little young gods and goddesses. That's real. Now, if that seems like blasphemy to you people in the church, in the mosque, in the synagogue, we don't give a goddamn. Yeah, goddamn. We don't give a goddamn. This ain't for you anyway, because all y'all did was tell lies and cause confusion. That's all y'all did for the last 2,000 years, was tell a bunch of damn lies and cause confusion. You understand? So y'all could create your own little abstract world and create your little doctrine so you can fleece the people out of money. That's all it was ever about, controlling the people. That's all it was ever about. That's all your lies was about. You're not going to teach that God was a real man, because, see, a real man comes with real laws. A real man comes with real judgment. And a majority of you people in the black race, y'all ain't ready for judgment. You don't want judgment, because judgment means judgmental, meaning judging the minds of the people. Judgmental. Mental means mind. Judging the minds of the people. A lot of y'all ain't ready for that. A lot of y'all don't want that. So you prefer your God to be some abstract, invisible man, some unseen force, instead of a real man who can sit you and look you in your damn face and judge you and destroy you, based on your limited way of thinking, based on the fact that you want to stay dwelling in that submental state. That's the curse of the damn black race right now. That's the curse of the black race. The curse, the black race is going through the curse, a punishmental curse. The word punishment is short for punishmental. What is the punishmental curse the black race is going through? That you are disconnected from that linear state of higher intelligence, from the true and living God, Amen. Amen. Y'all are disconnected from the higher intelligence of God. That's the punishmental curse on the black race. Y'all are stuck in a circular motion, in a circular rotation of BS. Christianity, Islam, Judaism, y'all keep in these same circular rituals. God don't move in circles, people. God moves in straight lines with no point of return. Unless he wants to. Unless he wants to come back and move a certain people forward. That's how this thing goes. That's how this thing goes. 347? 347? Hello? 347. Okay. Questions and comments. Questions and comments. Questions and comments. God walked the earth as a physical man. You understand? The white man is showing you in this day and time. The hell, his white woman is showing you. Our people were showing you. God has a face. You understand? God is advanced. God has a brain, obviously. Now you can connect to God if you truly want to. Now you can connect to God if you truly want to, once you know that God's true name is Amen. Are you these omni beings? Are you these omni people? Are you of the 144,000? That's the gathering. We in the time of the elect right now, people. We in the time of the gathering of the elect. This ain't the time for rolling on the floor and talking about Jesus and going to church and getting prayed up. All that BS. This ain't the time for banging your head on the floor and getting black marks on your head or kissing a rock or running around some well or giving out charity or some rituals and routines. It ain't the time for that no more. That time is past and prologue. This ain't the time to sit up here and curse out white people and talking about taking their women as slaves and all this bullshit. You understand? Because you want to do that submental nonsense. That's you talking. Ain't no God talking. That's you talking. You understand? No, the true and living God is advancing the intelligence of people. He's advancing the intelligence of the elect. You understand? The elect ain't going to partake in any of these things. That's why I said your old ways of thinking. Like I said, it's no coincidence that when the Beast presented, he showed Morgan Freeman and Sarah Silverman showed that got the black man as God. They put him in a white suit. What does the white suit represent? It represents blank space. It represents clean slate. You understand? Meaning that all things of the past mean nothing anymore. God receives future intelligence. Why? Because his mind is always blank to receive. The people of God, the elect of minds, are supposed to be blank to receive. So if you sitting up here talking about, yeah, I'm of the elect, but I'm still following Egyptology. Yeah, I'm of the elect, but I'm still following Islam. Yeah, I'm of the elect, but I still want to follow Christian insanity. Yeah, I'm of the elect, but I still want to follow Judaism or Pan-Africanism or Moorish science. Then you're not of the elect. You of man. You of mankind. You of the beast. Because he controls that. That's all circular knowledge. You're not of the elect. If you still sitting up here talking about the Ankh and walking around with big-ass Ankhs on like you niggas in the conscious movement, then you're not of the elect. You understand? You of man. You understand? The elect are not doing that. The elect are taking up they're taking up the power symbol. They're taking up the true power symbol of God. And don't take up that symbol and talk about future knowledge and you still talking about that stuff. You still trying to beg for treaties and talking to the white man. All the talk is over. You understand? A new tribe is supposed to be being raised. A new shield is going up. A 13th tribe is coming up. A real new tribe. A real new covenant. Not no fake new covenant of niggas chasing money. That's of the beast. You understand that? A real son of man has come. A true bright man. Not no nigga that's trying to hustle, you understand? And gets money out you and whatnot because then niggas trying to follow the hip-hop community. You understand that? That's real. The elect are going to answer to a higher authority. The ascension, the God race, Amen, and the Amen beings. I answer to a higher authority. I don't answer to your God and religion. I don't answer to your God. I'm not a religious man. I'm an intelligent man. You understand? God deals with intelligent men and women, not know you niggas in religion. You niggas, you false niggas. You praying and bumping your head on the floor, niggas, and trying to do your ritual, you ritualistic niggas. God ain't dealing with you. The true and living God ain't dealing with you. The true and living God, Amen, deals with intelligence. He deals with people of advanced intelligence, advanced minds, people who trying to advance their way of thinking, who coming together with their intelligent ones. Not you niggas out here talking, yeah, I'm of the elect, but I still want to puff L with my mans and them. Nigga, you with the beats. I still want to listen to hip-hop with my mans and them. You understand? And talk and play video games, talk about the NBA playoffs and all kind of stupidity. Because we're supposed to be in a time of receiving, so all that bullshit got to go out the window. All your religious beliefs got to go out the window, so that we can start receiving this higher intelligence as a new covenant, as a new tribe, as a new family. That's what we're supposed to be doing. We in the time of the elect people. You understand? This ain't gonna be this ain't no religious movement. This is a real society coming up. This is a future intelligence culture coming up. An intelligence culture coming up. One meaning a culture that's in tune with the future of thinking, the future thought that's coming from God, the true God, Amen. The God that you all are saying, Amen, the one you seal in your prayers with, the true name of God that you seal your prayers with when you say Amen. But the beast, he's saying Amen because he knows who the true and living God is. Don't listen to these people who are deceiving you in religion about some spook God or some hidden God or some God that don't look like us. Don't listen to these people who are telling us we got to have a religion in order for us to get some. Nah, we ain't relying on no more religion. That's over. Or some ancient knowledge of the past. No, we're supposed to be moving forward in future intelligence and future knowledge. You understand? The soul of our people are moving forward. It's burning hotter. The degrees and the degrees of our souls are going to start to burn, raise in temperature as the sun comes closer to the planet. If those of you I taught in class know what I mean, things are heating up. A sister said something. She said in Facebook, if you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. I'm not going to mention the sister's name, but she said that, and though it's an old saying, it resonated with me. It's still in my head. Because we in the kitchen and the heat is starting to turn up. So I'm going to make sure I answered all these questions. Comments, anything anybody has to say. State of Mentel's Supermen, Superwomen Project. August 26th, Sunday, August 26th. In Brooklyn, New York City, I will be teaching, I will be talking, I will be teaching the knowledge of mental. I will be bringing my people, the elect, the 144 together. We are in the stage and the time of the elect. I'm not interested in these people and their movements and what they're doing. We're not talking to you. We're not interested in you. We're only interested in pulling the bright race out of the black race. You understand? Forget metaphysics. That's some philosophy of the beast. Forget that. You understand? We are moving on. We are in the time of the elect. We are no longer in the time of religion. You understand? We are no longer in the time of holy rollers and beating on tambourines and rolling on the floor. That's dead, man. You understand? We're supposed to be receiving future intelligence. If you are truly of God, you're supposed to be receiving future intelligence. You're supposed to be having thoughts of moving on. You're supposed to be having thoughts of growing up. The black man and black woman have to grow up and become bright men and bright women. You understand that? This is what we're on the stage of becoming. This is the door that's open for us right now. I'm going to make sure I answered all these questions that I put up here that I said I would answer. Does he have others that walk with my answer? Yes, he does. Was he really a so-called black man? And I said, no, he was a bright man, meaning a solar intelligent man, because none of you are black people. That's something the beast called you because you were in darkness. He called you black people as an insult. and you niggas still pump your fist for this black bullshit, this Pan-African bullshit. Y'all still pump y'all fists and fall for this. You are of the bright race. You are the solar intelligent beings, not black men and not black women, not people in darkness, unless you want to stay in darkness. Now, some of our people are black men and black women. Some of our people are going to stay in perpetual darkness. So, yeah, it does fit a lot of you. Why does the religious world make him a mystery or spirit? Easy, because it's easy for you to produce philosophies and fake doctrines and lies to people and cause confusion. That's why they make God a mystery, a spook, a spirit, and unseen power. They have to do that to keep him a mystery so they can keep lying to you, keep you confused. You understand? Playing games, pulling the wool over your eyes. It's all a con game. What is this God's true name? Amen. Amen. Amen, amen, amen. The omni-man, the eternal man, the eternal one. Never ending. That's why he said, I am the beginning and I am the ending, because in order for him to be the beginning and the ending, that means he had to start time. Hello? So if he was before time, then that means he's eternal. So how the hell is the black man going to be the original man? If he's God, then that means he is the Alpha and Omega. That means he was before time. He started time. Why do people refuse to acknowledge God as a real man? Because, like I said, it's easy, because real men bring judgment. Real men think. Real men judge. And our people don't want judgment. That's why. You understand? They don't want a real God. They want a fake God, because they fake and they phony. You understand? They've been taught to be fake and phony like the beast. Artificial people with an artificial God. Why did the religious world paint him as a Caucasian man? Well, because they were telling you that they want to be the gods on earth. That was their way of putting the image, their image over in your head, over in their mind, because they want to be the gods on earth. And y'all keep it going. Y'all still, like I said, y'all still defer to that image. That's why when y'all see just so-called Jesus, you refer to him as Black Jesus. There's real Jesus and there's Black Jesus. You understand? White God and Black God. You understand? You still see him alive. You still see him as God. Does God have bloodline descendants on earth? That's you, so-called black man and black woman. You are the descendants of God on earth. You are the fallen people who fell or descended into the earth, the fallen messengers or angels. You are the descendants of these people who fell here on this low submental state into this earth. What will the 144,000 mean to this God in the future? Future intelligence. They will be receivers of this God's higher intelligence. Amen. Join us Friday for another hard-hitting topic as usual, expected. You know, only coming with pure intelligence, pure knowledge from the true and living God. Amen. I am the intellectual Nuben Menkares. This is State of Mentel Radio. Good night. Join us again Friday night at 9 p.m. Look for us on Facebook to see what the next topic is. Good night.